After its launch on January 19, 2006, New Horizons has been established as one of the most important NASA missions of all time. New Horizons, unlike many other NASA missions, is designed to hurtle through space for a very long time, which only implies that it has a lot of potential to make an endless amount of discoveries throughout its journey. This will then ultimately help us understand worlds at the edge of our solar system. So what exactly are some of the most notable and shocking things that the New Horizons has found so far? What fascinating truths has this remarkable NASA project retrieved? Hello and welcome to the Discover Space channel. Make sure to hit the subscribe button to stay on top of the most fascinating space discoveries you won't want to miss. New Horizons has only been in orbit for a little more than 2 decades, but it's been a wild voyage thus far. The spacecraft was chosen for funding in 2001, however, it was not included in NASA's budget 2 years later. After years of failing to secure a budget, it was finally launched on an Atlas V rocket from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. On February 28, 2007, the space probe flew past Jupiter at a distance of less than 1.4 million miles for a gravitational boost on its long journey, making it the first spacecraft to fly by since 2003 when the Galileo probe completed its mission. During the flyby, the spacecraft made observations of Jupiter, its moons, and ring system. Detailed images of the ring system did not reveal any embedded moonlets larger than about 1 kilometer. Astronomers expected to see such objects if the ring system had been formed from the debris of shattered moons. The spacecraft's route took it along the tail of Jupiter's magnetosphere, and New Horizons found pulses of energetic particles flowing along the tail modulated by Jupiter's 10-hour rotation rate. Jupiter's volcanic moon, Io, was one of the first objects photographed by New Horizons with the sharpest images yet seen of Io's Tvashtar volcano. The spacecraft also studied a major volcanic fallout on the moon the size of Texas in all brilliant clarity, found global changes in Jupiter's weather with the massive cloud of charged particles whirling around the planet, and, for the first time, detected lightning in the planet's polar regions. Astronomers noted that the findings might help them better understand the environment around hot Jupiter planets in other solar systems that circle around their stars relatively close. Aside from the occasional wake-ups for navigation and system checks, the spacecraft was maintained in hibernation to preserve energy and limit the danger of anything going wrong. In December 2014, NASA took it completely out of hibernation in preparation for the Pluto encounter and relayed data back to Earth. Now wide awake and at its full throttle, New Horizons began studying the Pluto-Charon system 5 months before its closest approach on July 14, 2015. And about 10 weeks before its closest approach, images taken by New Horizons were of better resolution than those taken with the Hubble Space Telescope. The onboard instruments studied in detail the atmosphere and the surface of both Pluto and Charon, giving mankind its first close-up view of the distant world. New Horizons observed a large, young, heart-shaped region of ice on Pluto and found mountains made of water ice that may float on top of nitrogen ice. It discovered large chasms on Charon and found that its north pole was covered with reddish material that had escaped from Pluto's atmosphere. The 4 smaller moons of Pluto, Styx, Nix, Kerberos, and Hydra, were found to be spinning very rapidly, unlike most other satellites in the solar system, which keep one side facing the planet they orbit. With these, New Horizons came within 7,800 miles of Pluto, more than 9 years after leaving Earth, on a fast trajectory that made it the fastest spacecraft ever launched at the time. New Horizons' flyby of Pluto was somewhat nerve-wracking. because of how far it is from NASA's reach. Being nearly 3 billion miles posed a powerful barrier for the New Horizons designers, since the sun rays are too faint to create electricity at that distance. A one-way transmission from Earth took 4.5 hours to reach New Horizons when it arrived at Pluto. Since long communication delays are also experienced by individuals trying to communicate with the 1054-pound spaceship. Despite the fact that all of the data obtained by Horizons during its encounters with Pluto and Charon took 15 months to download, it was unquestionably well worth the wait. Pluto's surface appeared to be remarkably youthful in early photographs from New Horizons, with a mountain range towering considered to be roughly 100 million years old at most, and extends from 10 to 11,000 feet. Photographs revealed surprising geologic activity on Pluto, including jagged mountain ranges comprised of solidified water ice, frozen methane, dune fields, and the solar system's greatest glacier. The expedition got many images of recent geological action on the surface, but what caused it remains unknown. This completely revolutionized the way scientists think of and examine icy planets, and showed just how much variation was possible even on the coldest frozen worlds. It is important to note that when New Horizons was first launched back in 2006, Pluto was still known as an official planet and not as the dwarf planet that it is now. On January 1, 2019, New Horizons flew past another Kuiper Belt object, Arrokoth, following its Pluto encounter. Arrokoth was discovered to be a contact binary, which means it was formed by the merger of two Kuiper Belt objects. Back in 2016, New Horizons' mission was extended so that it could take a closer look at the belt, and a few years later, it delivered. The New Horizons passed over Arrokoth at a distance of roughly 2,000 miles, which was 5,800 miles closer than when the ship flew by Pluto during its closest approach. The initial photographs of Arrokoth revealed that it had two nearly spherical lobes. The biggest lobe was given the name Ultima, while the smallest was given the name Thule. These red lobes were once separate objects that gravitationally attracted to one another over time. According to NASA, it took approximately 20 months for all of the Arrokoth data to reach Earth, implying that new data was still streaming into NASA in 2020. However, by March 2019, enough data had been communicated to Earth for researchers to create a map of Arrokoth's complex geology. With all the discoveries it has given mankind, and the possible discoveries yet to come, what exactly does the future hold for New Horizons? With the tank literally still full of gas, another flyby target might be discovered and reached. And what happens after that? With the possibility that after the spacecraft's flyby software is no longer needed, we can greatly enhance New Horizons' capabilities by installing new observation and onboard data reduction software. It could give New Horizons a second life if NASA accepts the idea of updating the probe from afar that could allow further studies. So there you go. These are just a few of the fascinating and surprisingly shocking discoveries made by New Horizons, nearly 20 years since it left Earth's orbit. The probe is making great gains and historical observations that change the way we see the stars and the universe at large. Isn't it exciting to see what other mysteries of the cosmos it can unveil? Thanks for watching this video, and be sure to hit that like button and bell notification to be updated on the space facts you'd really want to know. Oh, and comment down below what other space discoveries you want to unearth next. See you in the next video!